I used to think the hardest part of coming home was the flight. 10 hours sealed in recycled air gives you too much time to remember things the way you wish they'd been. I told myself it would be different this year. Mom had sounded soft on the phone. It wouldn't feel like the holidays without you, she'd said. The taxi stopped in front of the same narrow house with the crooked gutter. I noticed the paint was newer. The porch light flickered the way it always had. I smoothed my sweater before knocking, as if presentation could rewrite history. The door opened. My mother looked at me the way you look at someone who arrived right on schedule. No hello, no hug. "You'll babysit your brother's kids," she said, already stepping back into the hallway. "We're leaving in an hour. Family trip. It's been planned for months." The suitcase handle was still in my hand. Inside, my brother was zipping up a duffel bag. He grinned when he saw me. "Perfect timing," he said. Then, to his kids, "Don't wipe your snot on her, okay?" They laughed. He laughed. Mom made that small breathy sound she makes when something is technically rude but socially acceptable. I smiled. It's a reflex, years of it. Smiling when I was asked to drive someone to the airport at 4 a.m. Smiling when I was told I was so independent, which, in our house, meant doesn't need anything. The kids ran past me and nearly knocked over my carry-on. "I haven't even sat down," I said gently. Mom was already moving toward the kitchen. "You'll be fine, there's food in the fridge, we'll be back Sunday." Sunday. I had flown across the country to be an afterthought. My brother tossed me a pack of baby wipes like a joke prop. "You're a lifesaver," he said. That word, lifesaver. It always meant I was about to drown quietly so someone else could float. I set the wipes down on the hallway table. "I can't," I said. No one heard me. Or maybe they assumed I was joking. "I can't babysit," I repeated a little louder. My brother laughed again. "What, you've got hot plans?" I met his eyes. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't change my expression. "I have a meeting tomorrow morning," I said, "with the property attorney." The laughter slowed, like a record losing speed. Mom stepped back into the hallway. "What meeting?" "The one about Dad's will," I said. "The house." For a second there was only the hum of the refrigerator. My father had insisted years ago that my name be added to the deed. He'd called it security. At the time, everyone had rolled their eyes. I'd been 23, single. "You won't even live here," my brother had said. I hadn't argued. I'd just signed where I was told to. Now I continued. "I'd just signed where I was told to." Now I continued, still calm. "There's paperwork that needs my signature before any refinancing or transfer. I scheduled it months ago, tomorrow morning." My brother's duffel bag slid from his shoulder onto the floor. Mom's face changed in a way I'd never quite seen before. Not anger, not panic. Calculation dissolving. "No," she whispered, then again, softer. "No, no, no way. It's not dramatic," I said. "It's just legal. I got the letter last month. They can't proceed without me." The family trip had been planned, she'd said. Non-refundable tickets were sitting somewhere in her purse. A rental cabin probably waited for them. Plans built on the assumption that I would say yes to anything. My brother found his voice first. "You'd really messed this up over babysitting." I didn't answer that. "I'm not messing anything up," I said instead. "I just can't take responsibility for the kids, and I have to be at that meeting." The kids had gone quiet, sensing the temperature drop without understanding why. Mom stepped closer to me. "We didn't know," she said, but it didn't sound like apology. It sounded like disbelief that I had not notified them of my usefulness. "I didn't know you'd scheduled a trip over it," I replied. Silence stretched between us. Not loud, just undeniable. My brother picked up his phone. I watched his face as he checked something, confirmation emails maybe. His jaw tightened. "They'll charge a fee," he muttered. Mom pressed her fingers to her lips. "This was supposed to be a surprise," she said, almost to herself. "For who?" I asked before I could stop myself. That landed. No one yelled. No one exploded. The moment wasn't cinematic. It was administrative. Plans rearranged themselves in real time. My brother eventually cleared his throat. "We can push it," he said, "maybe next weekend." Mom didn't respond immediately. She was looking at me differently now. Not warmly. Not kindly. Just carefully. You could have told us sooner, she said. I wasn't asked, I said. That was the only sharp thing I allowed myself. The kids drifted back toward their toys. The duffel bags stayed on the floor. The baby wipes sat untouched where I'd left them. The house felt unfamiliar in a new way, not because I was small inside it, but because I wasn't. Mom finally nodded, once. We'll stay, she said. We'll reschedule. It wasn't generous. It was practical. My brother avoided my eyes as he carried the bag back toward the bedroom. I picked up my suitcase and moved it against the wall. Dinner? Mom asked after a while, as if restarting a stalled engine. Sure, I said. In the kitchen, she chopped vegetables with more force than necessary. I set the table without being told to. The movements were ordinary. The air wasn't. No one joked about SNOT. No one joked about SNOT. No one called me a lifesaver. When we sat down to eat, there was space around me. Not physical space, something subtler. A recognition that my presence had conditions now. After dinner, Mom poured herself tea and sat across from me. You're very independent, she said carefully. I almost smiled at the word. I am, I said. She nodded again, slower this time. Your father thought that was important. I know. We didn't talk about the meeting again. We didn't talk about the trip. The television filled the quiet with canned laughter that no one matched. Later that night in the guest room, I lay awake listening to the house settle. I didn't feel victorious. There was no rush of triumph, no fantasy of apologies. There was just a line, drawn without drama. In the morning, I would go to the attorney's office. I would sign or refuse to sign, depending on what was in front of me. Not out of spite, out of clarity. Down the hall, I heard my mother's footsteps pause outside my door. She didn't knock. For the first time, she didn't assume I would open it.